Hello everybody, this is Ominous for Responsible Gaming. We're doing episode 147 of Ominous Design. We have a topic. We're gonna follow the same theme as last week, where we created the mechanic of, how was it called? Imbue. Imbue is the mechanic. So, as of yesterday week, the mechanic was, when this creature dies, you may exile it, imbuing target creature. When the imbued creature dies, put this card from exile into your graveyard. And the creature has lifelink, and imbued creature gets lifelink. So, a couple remarks that we got last week on this design. One is, why does the imbue card have to go back to the graveyard? My reaction to this was that I hate to have a lot of cards lost in exile doing nothing, and I like graveyards, but it makes the card more complicated. It doesn't make a ton of sense thematically, and it takes 2 lines of text on the card for just pretty much little effect. So I think I might agree that we are fine making the keyword last, like, be half the size, such as this. So there you go. Just kind of cool. Now, somebody also mentioned, or several people mentioned, that this might just mean that imbued creatures Interesting. So I was thinking the template is, people were mentioning that imbued creature might mean that if you put this imbuing a creature, and then you have, for example, Blaze Lasher saying double strike imbuing another creature, both creature would be considered imbued, and therefore they would both gain both the affixes, the double strike and the lifelink. I was under the impression that you didn't need to say imbued by this card, and I was even referring to Haunt. I think I did that during the live stream, except it seems like Haunt actually refers to the card. Haunt says, when Absolver throws in the battlefield or the creature it haunts dies, which means which just means that it does, whereas our design doesn't. Now, for a second, when I was describing this to you, I started having thoughts in my head, that happens, where I wondered, well, what if it was okay? What if this guy says, from now on, all imbued creatures have lifelink, and then this one will say, from now on, all imbued creatures have double strike. So, lots of different layers. On a first glance, why not? There is a bunch of cards. Slavers obviously give abilities to everybody. Allies do very similar, even though it's not always all the time. Outlast creatures used to give abilities to all the +1 counter creatures, so you could get reach, trample, first strike, etc., etc., even flying. And on top of that, imbue over here doesn't last. Imbue goes away with the creature imbued, right? So if you put imbue Blaze Lasher on one of your creatures, all your imbued creatures are gonna get double strike, but they're also all going to lose double strike as soon as the creature that holds the Blaze Lasher dies. Following? So basically what I'm saying is, abilities that stack and have a linear progression exist. They usually have a bigger setup cost than imbue, but also imbue goes away when the creature dies. That might be a bad argument, because usually those mechanics also go away when a creature dies. Like, you have the guy that gives first strike or flying to all the dudes. If that particular guy dies, you lose first strike, you lose lifelink, you lose etc. All of those things. So I guess I withdraw my argument of, well, if this dies, it stops happening. It's kind of a Doomblade argument, which leaves us with this has too low a setup cost, which it also leaves us with, I think it's just too big a mess. I don't particularly want to share the ability all over the place. Rolling back, we need to fix it then, because as of now, the template actually kind of says that all imbued creatures can double strike. What I think should be written instead is let's have a quick look at Besto. It's my favorite. It's the one I remember. I actually like the Dryad as well. Enchanted, obviously, because it's an aura. Okay, never mind. We have other mechanics that work similarly. Can't really think of one on top of my head, so let's just pick a template. Well, so the thing that bothers me is, am I gonna go, I think I want to say creatures imbued by what's his face, again, lifelink. Do we have a lot of other solutions for this template? Because I mean, this kind of implies that they could have that there could be several of them, and it is actually confusing. But on the other hand, if you don't want to use an article like a particular word, you need to say creatures. Otherwise, what can you say? You say you know, I don't even know how to say it. Any creature imbued by Gloombearer gains lifelink, or yeah, yeah, I can't remember. I feel like there is a similar mechanic, but I can't think of it. You could say any creature imbued by Gloombearer. Other things, if you want to do, if it was a ability that was self-granted, you could go Gloombearer and creatures imbued by Gloombearer gain something something, but you're not gonna do that for static ability, and it also leaves you with the exact same problem. Are you gonna say and creatures imbued by it, or and any creature imbued by it, or the creature, or you know, I don't know. So I'm gonna leave that as creatures imbued by Gloombearer, and hopefully that doesn't create too much confusion. When this creature dies, you may exile it, imbuing target creature. I suppose you control. No. Okay, so you may end the story. So I'll fix the other ones later. This week we're gonna make more, and that's kind of why we're here. So first, trying to choose which one I prefer. So what I wanted to do is a creature that says something like this. Let's copy this. There you go. Where's the card? Where's the card? Oh, it's transparent. Great. So creatures imbued by so there's two possibilities. Can't block. Interesting. So you would have something like, well, we don't care what type. 2/2 in black probably. Can block. I think you're supposed to say what's his face can block. That's how it's how it's templated. One S? Oh no, it's, who can't block? Who can block broadcast? Oh boy. Is that how you spell this? Broadcast can't block. Yes. So another S. And an H? I don't know. Okay, I'm done. Creatures imbued by what's his face can block. Imbue. Wonderful. So that's pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool. Now, it's actually kind of cool because it creates a bear in black with a downside, but also a pretty good upside. It also, oh yeah, it also might be a fixed version of Bestow can block, if you know what I mean. Check this out. Bestow can block. Because this is a very expected design, but Northscarhide was a 2/1 for 1 black that cannot block, but it also could be put on an opponent creature and prevent them from blocking. Being extremely weird because you had a 4 mana cost to do that, which is pretty expensive to prevent somebody from blocking, and it also gave them +2/+1, which is huge. Granted that you can also just put it on your creature so that it gets bigger and, oh well, too bad he can block, but very obviously kind of the first thing you think when you see, oh, this is a downside that translates to the bestowed creature, you go, oh, I can put that on my opponents because it's a downside and I hate my opponents, I want them to die. So there was big tension. Giving plus ability, paying a high cost. If you want to actually go like, oh, that's a negative ability, I'm going to put it on my opponent, you need to pay 4 and you need to give +2/+1, which is pretty freaking narrow. On the other hand, over here, you get your good creature with a downside, and then you get the upside for free. Like, as long as there's a creature to target, you will make it not able to block. It is very good. And in that sense, I find it more elegant and more satisfying than the other one that I was going to propose to you. Okay, I'm going to shoot myself in the foot. I wanted to choose which one to do because I don't want to have to choose for 15 illustrations, 15 names, find the credits for all the illustrator, etc. and so on. But I'm going to do it anyways, just because it's you. And the other design would be 2R, 2/3. I don't know why I want that. And you do attacks each turn if able. And creatures attack each turn if able. And it's super sweet. I mean, what else to say? You get your 2/3 that need to attack all the time, and then you make another opponent creature forced to attack every turn. It's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. That's all there is to say about it. I think the balance is fine as it is, and I think we can move on. In a world, this could be a pushed common, and I kind of want to do it, if only because first, there is excellent commons out there. If I think about it right now, I feel like I've made tons of designs that was like uncommon, and I never went back to, well, what about those amazing commons that we have every limited set? So that's one thing, and that's also the other thing. Yeah, that's all there is to it. I think there is space for very cool comments, and those might be those might them might. Okay, what else? So I want probably activated abilities. I thought for a second of a design. We'll see. What about? Okay, I'm gonna give you the not actually the still static ability that I thought of. That's kind of cool. And then we'll try and find an activated one which I have not thought of, as opposed to those three designs. So what this could say is other creatures you control, and this would actually arc back to transferring imbue to all creatures and not only one creature. So other creatures you control and imbued creatures you control get +1/+1. So actually, I don't know how that would work even in the rules if I write it that way, because an imbued creature would qualify as both other creatures you control and imbued creatures you control. So I don't think, well, actually it's pretty easy to see. We're gonna check leech. I don't remember. Oh, they're all leech. Okay, other red creatures you control get, other green creatures you control get. So pretty obviously over here we want to put two oh shit, that doesn't work. Well, it's actually, so alright, let me write it down. So other creatures you control get +1/+1, and imbued. I kind of don't want to say other, because if you imbue this guy, why wouldn't he get the bonus? I don't see why. So the problem now is, what do we do with the imbue? Well, what happens? Wait, what? What happens when you imbue this card? Supposedly, the imbue mechanic, and that's also potentially a weakness and a complete flaw of the design. I don't know that it works in the rules, but when this is exiled, oh no, it should work. When it is exiled, it needs to still say something, right? It's exiled another creature, and it needs to say, hey, the creature that is imbued by me also has this attack, lifelink, double strike, all those things we've seen. So now, and it's possible because that's the way Haunt works, right? I wish I had a card name for Haunt. Haunt says, you know, when he enters the battlefield or the creature it haunts dies, creates blah blah blah. This might be what Maro was referring to, the confusing aspect of Haunt, the fact that the creature that's exiled still says something, but did you care about the rules on the card that's exiled? But we're just gonna go with it because otherwise the mechanic just doesn't exist. Now, going back to this, well, for one thing, does this still work? Because I understand that imbue still works, because imbue, the functioning of the mechanic says, well, listen, something is written on the card, when I'm exiled you still follow the rule of the exiled card. But does that mean that all the text of the card now gets followed from exiled, it's actually very confusing. I actually don't know how exactly they make Hunt works from that standpoint. So super confusing. My gut feeling would have been that it was a cool design because when it's alive, it gives +1/+1 to all creatures and +2/+2 to your creatures that are imbued, basically. But also when it's imbued, then it just gives +1/+1 to all imbued creature, but not the second +1/+1 because gut feeling, because I felt like only imbue mechanics should work from exile, but I actually don't know how that works at all. Therefore, I'm going to look up Haunt when we're done, or perhaps later. But also, therefore, I'm just not going to try and make this design work because we have other things to do tonight. Plus, it might not be salvageable. It's definitely actually confusing. The alternative could be that the imbue mechanic says either it would be a point in a rule that says imbue cards when they're exiled, imbuing words a creature, all of their rule text still applies, or something like that. So it might be in the rules or it might be in the reminder. Anyways. Oh, sorcery. Okay, when this creature dies, exiled. Oh yeah, I'm just looking at the text, and man, it is actually kind of confusing. When this spell card is put into graveyard after resolving, exile it, hunting a creature. So you can hunt with a spell, but you can hunt with a creature, and it's when this creature dies, exile it, hunting target creature. Super weird. Cool. Cool. Yeah. So let's not. We're gonna try and do activated ability. So what could we do? First, do we want to extend imbue to colors that we haven't touched yet? That worth it? We get a white, we get a red, we get a blue, we get a black, we get a red again. So we would have green basically. Don't particularly see why not. In reality, most likely, we wouldn't. We 5-color mechanics are not that common, and I don't particularly feel like this needs to be one. Especially since, like I said, I don't want a million cards to be exiled forever. So yeah, I just probably wouldn't. That being said, it's not a reason to prevent us from doing it now, because it's mostly an exercise and we could just we're just exploring really. Now, triggered ability in green are not the most obvious thing to come up with, I think. But let's think about something. What about whenever what's his face or I don't know if imbue needs to be first or what, but we're gonna say yes. So whenever what's his face or see, now I want to say I'm more inclined to say or a creature imbued or any creature imbued rather than or creatures, but I don't know. It's neither near nor there, I suppose. whenever what's his face or creatures imbued by what's his face. I don't know. Deal damage, combat damage. Player. Put the +1/+1 counter on it. On it. Two things here. Either you can say that, or you can say on that creature, or there is no such template and we need to make two different trigger abilities. You know, whenever what's his face, they'll come out to damage to a player, put a +1, and then another one whenever imbued what's his face. And that would be not cool at all. That would be super wordy. So hopefully not. And we could have something like this. Wording again, whenever what's his face dies, put, basically I want to transfer the +1 counters. Once Hydra dies. Hydra dies! Whenever it dies, you may distribute on any number of creature, no, just one. Huh. There's no more, there's not a Hydra that just gives its own +1 counters, or maybe it's not actually a Hydra. Okay, whatever. But that's kind of annoying because I wanted to know exactly the template for put all counters from it to another one. Is that's what Arcbound Ravager does, right? When it dies, you may put its +1 counter. Really? That's the Oracle tech? Its +1 counters? That's weird. Alright, well. Just gonna do it, huh? Well, it's the text in the reminder. I don't know that it would be the template in a card. Let's try just, that's modular, right? I hope. Persist, undying. God damn it. Who's transferring their +1 counters when they die? Please tell me. Dice, counters, target, creature, type creature. I should have removed modular. Damn it. No. And persist. God damn it. You may put, okay. Almost there, I promise. Not modular persist. And was Undying in there? I guess not, because there was only one Undying creature that showed up. Oh, now they all do? So that's distribute. Once I put X +1 customer. Ah, yes, we found it. Too bad because it's a little wordier. Oh boy, that's pretty. It's pretty massive. And what we could do is not force the player to put the +1 counters on the creature that is going to be imbued, but it would actually be too powerful because you could build up counters and then put it on creature and then make another one build up too. That being said, not even certain. I mean, it would be more powerful probably, but you wouldn't transfer your bigness to that creature, therefore you wouldn't enable that creature to keep attacking to get counters. So that's the downside, but the upside would be you don't put all your eggs in the same basket. So, well, okay. Now it's all upside because you decide. I mean, heck, maybe it's a constructed playable big green fatty. Why not? That's kind of how the world goes. How about a 3/3 for 3? It's pretty good. But it's not crazy. It's not even that fantastic. I mean, I kind of feel like this should actually be just a big fat mythic. Like, especially if we don't want it to be an actual constructed playable, it could be like a 4GG 6/6 or something like that. Trample would be extremely annoying. But why not? That's big, stupid, mythic rare. It's not particularly powerful unless you give it trample. I don't think I would want it to have trample from the get-go. But I would need to look at more of the fatties, like how oppressive, how, how aggressive can you get your fatties? Things that not only prevent you from blocking them efficiently, but also get better when you fail to block them. Those might exist. I think the search for those, on the other hand, would be kind of... I have one idea that we can try. So something like rule text trample, and whenever deals combat damage to a player and colors green, we want a big green fatty. That might be enough. There is Barbaric Moss for sure. Flying trample, get energy counters, not a big deal. But big guys actually, I should have done. Let's do 6 and up. Giant Elephant combat damage to a player, create a token as a copy. Alright. Okay, we got it. We can do big things. So in that case, oh my god, oh no, it's an 8 drop. Okay. Actually, those are 7 or 8 though, which means create that many insects, which means 6 is probably on the low side for a creature that's good. That being said, 6/6 trample. Screw it. I'm doing it. Why not? I'm the chef. I'm the boss here. I do what I want. Here we got a big ass Timmy trampler, distributing +1 counters, and we're happy. It's quite enjoyable. Cool. So we can do. We can definitely do activated abilities. We can do static abilities. We can do everything we want. Imbue is fun. That's all I have to say about it. I think, in all fairness, if I could find more interactions with different mechanics, I might be interested. That's the type of mechanic that I really like among all the ones I created, that I could consider putting in a custom set. I think it's pretty clean. I mean, minus the interaction with doing something when you're exiled, but I don't even see that as a parameter, because you're gonna exile that card, and it's gonna look like an aura. You know, you're gonna know it's here. You're gonna know what it does because you see it. It's gonna act the same as when you exile cards under some guy who can cast those cards. So I don't really see the problem. I think it's just fine. So I do like the mechanic quite a bunch. And minus all the templating and crap, it is extremely simple. All that this mechanic says, exactly same as Bestow, is I do this. When I die, I'm put myself on a creature, and the creature does that as well. Like, there's nothing else to think about. And I don't even think there is many corner case. You know, if you want to get all rules lawyery to try and break this or make this complicated, I don't think there's tons of ways of making it worse than it is. So I'm happy with it. I hope you enjoyed. Those are our designs for the imbue mechanic. Maybe one day I'll take it back, but now I've been doing 2 episodes on it, so I think that'll be good for now. So yeah, tell me what you think. I shall be posting those cards tomorrow on all the outlets as usual. YouTube is going to be for the video tomorrow. Facebook and Twitter will get posts and links to my article on which I will describe the cards a little bit tomorrow, and you'll be able to see the images, the names and everything, which sometimes looks pretty cool. And then post on Reddit on r/custom magic, which is an amazing subreddit. Next week we're gonna do episode 148 because we know how to count. Also, it's gonna be the last episode before I go on holidays, which should only cost us 1 episode, I think. Well, should only cost skip once. Then go back for 149. Thank you. And 150, I'm trying to prepare something cool. Talk about a spoiler, huh? I'm not going to tell you more just right now, but I do work on this and hope to make it very fun, and I will tell you maybe more before. It's going to be in about a month now, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, a month, 4 weeks. See you next week, though. Thanks for watching. Do like and subscribe. Send me comments. Tell me what you like and dislike on everything. YouTube, Reddit, especially YouTube, because that'll give me some visibility, hopefully, sometime. By the way, something very cool to watch if you're still watching is I did a Cube, Legacy Cube stream this weekend, and it was fun. So do check that out as well. That's it. That's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. See you next week, and play responsibly.